The live is now live. I got no mute. Come on. No music.
No music?
Nope. All the way up. Not muted.
Oh, wait. Painting with Menoth John is presented in Super Legitivision. Super Legitivision, the future of podcasting. It's .com.
Hello, I'm
Menoth John.
and I'd like to welcome you. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your
miniatures
and paint along with us each week. Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And it appears that we are probably still having problems. Tough call. Don't know. This is the Wednesday extravaganza. You'd love it. You know it. It's called the Painting with Menoth John show. And, of course, I am Menoth John. We're just going to start off with Legionnaires and ask them how this sounds. We're going to ask them how everything's looking good, John. Music was good.
Yep.
John is good.
Yep.
Excellent.
Picture. I'm not getting any.
Okay. Legionnaires, are you getting a picture?
Oh, I got it now.
Okay, cool.
Twitch being Twitch.
So, yeah, I mean, it seems like a particularly twitchy day. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, all kidding aside, I have cats. I have 3 of them. And for some reason, I've had to go and take the extreme measure of putting a lid over my mixer board. And somehow still, and amongst all that, the wrong button got pushed on something. But now it's fine. So let's go ahead and let's recover from that. Let's all take a cleansing breath. Breathe in and out. Okay, there we go. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wednesday extravaganza. You know it, you love it. It is the Painting with Menoth John show, and of course, I am your handsome, amazing host, Menoth John, and of course, I have the even more handsome, more amazing, the wind beneath my wings. You know him, you love him. He is the mighty right hand of the podcast. I am, of course, talking about Mr. John Spencer.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey! I am telling you what, 1 blip higher on the mixer, but it's not bad. Okay, so I can do that, John, using the powers of the sound of the board here. I can go ahead and I can make this 1 blip. 1 blip. Give me 1 blip. 1 blip only.
Blip only.
There you go. All right, so we got that 1 blip only.
That's a call forward to something similar what I'm going to talk about tonight.
Excellent. Well, fantastic. Blips, you say. Blips, you say.
Something like that. You'll
All right.
see.
Well,
You'll remember back to like,
So, okay, well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, as we are wont to do on this show, we like to start off with a beverage update, of course, because you know, this is a drinking show with a painting problem, and we are going to start off, John. So often I start that off. I'm going to go with you.
Okay.
Hey, Kathy, welcome.
I couldn't find regular cherry Coke in bottles, so I got cherry vanilla Coke, figuring, cherry and vanilla. I'll throw it with some Kraken. Kraken's got some vanilla notes. Put some grenadine in, kick up the cherry a little bit.
Oh shit!
I'll tell you how it is after a good swig of it.
All right, and folks, you know, what is the only thing that could make booze more fun? Monkeys.
More booze? Oh, monkeys. Monkeys too. Monkeys make everything fun.
Booze more fun. So I'm going to have some monkey shoulder scotch, the least scotch you will ever have.
Oh.
This is like scotch with a pair of training wheels attached to it. This is not.
That sounds like a speed.
This is not Lafro 10. This will not kill you. So this is rooted in malt whiskey history and inspired by the malt men, very sexist, who still turn the malted barley by hand. Monkey Shoulder is blended in small batches of Spizey's finest single malt whiskeys, then married to achieve a smoother, richer taste. They married it, huh? Wonder when the divorce happens. Give it time. Give it time. Anyway, so I'm going to have that. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're very, very happy that you're all with us tonight. I think there's like two of you. Don't matter. We're here for you. On behalf of Mr. John Spencer, hey, Ron.
Ron.
So tonight, folks, we've got actually a pretty interesting show, I think, for you. To be honest. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but it could. And let me take, John, I want to bump up your volume a little bit. I think you're a little bit...
Bump up volume, huh? Okay.
Can you bump up the volume on your end, and let's see how that works?
My volume is at maximum.
Okay, let me just take a look at my settings. Folks, there's nothing better than looking at settings when you're, when you're talking about, you're doing a show. Live is super awesome time to do this. We don't do pre-rambles anymore.
I got 7 ways to do this. We might be able to do it in a different way. Let's take a quick look here, shall we?
Nah. You know, what I'm seeing here is that I have no way of bumping up your input here, so I'm just going to...
How is that? Is that better?
That might be a little bit better. That's fine. It's good enough. It's good enough.
Okay, good. So I could go a little higher. Skype lets me go a little higher.
You know, if you can give me a little bit more, John, I'm always going to take a little more, John. You know what I mean?
More, well, one second. Let's get back there because Skype hides the settings where you can't easily get them because why should you be able to find settings easily?
So, John, it's no mystery that I'm Menoth John. And that means that I've been painting Menoth for an awful long time.
True.
And it's also no mystery that for the longest time, by the way, this is a 1-hour edition of Painting with Menoth John tonight.
Oh,
I think they're going to be more 1 hour than not lately in the future, but that's fine.
They'll be as long as they have to be.
Exactly. So tonight we are going to, I called tonight's show The Many Faces of Feora because it is not a mystery that Feora has been my girl for a long time. And so the model I'm going to start painting tonight is Feora 4, which is a Riot Quest model. So I'm going to what I'd like to do, John, is I'd like to start off our painting segment tonight. I don't have any business to talk about. Do you? We don't have business anymore.
No, not business. I'm wearing the shirt of a T-shirt company.
Oh,
Symbiote Studios with their mascot, Catnip Bravo.
Very nice.
Super cute. So I bought it because why not buy a cute shirt, right?
A cute shirt is great. In fact, I just got a new shirt in today too. It's I don't know if I've talked about it on the show, Tommy Rivers, the guy, the running coach that is on the iFit that I really love. He's got the cancer, and he's had a hell of a summer, but he's improving, continues to improve. And I got a Run with Ribs shirt in the mail today, so I'm very happy about that.
Actually brings me to a little thing. Support whatever you guys can support.
Yep.
Yesterday on Twitter, I actually donated $20 towards a nice young lady who needs a car, needs a down payment. I'm like, it's $20 to me. To her, it might be the difference between getting a car and not getting a car.
That's right. Support your local. Just
support it. Whatever you can give.
Yep.
$1. That's $1 more to her. She don't care. She's not like, oh, it's only $1. It's like, that's $1 I didn't have before towards my car.
And you know what? If you get scammed, sometimes that happens. But It's better to give a little bit of money. Maybe it doesn't end up the way it's supposed to, but at least you gave, you tried, and that matters.
Yeah, and
So
if you can't give, share something like, oh, this looks like this person really needs something. Let me share it. I don't have money to give right now, but I'll share it. That could be money too. So do what you can for everyone.
yeah, hey Telkazar, welcome. So we're going to go over here to the painting cam. This, of course, is we're going to talk about the many faces of Feora, and this is Feora 1. And I've been playing the Menoth for an awful long time. This is very representative of maybe my first couple years of painting. She is, she's got wash on her. I'll give her that much. Not a lot of shading, not a lot of technique going on here. A little bit of armor wash, a little bit of probably armor wash used on the cloak. But this is probably before I discovered liquid talent. And so she's Feora 1. She doesn't get to the table so often. None of my models get to the table very often. But this one had enough dust on it that I took out the little makeup brush that I use so often around the painting table.
And really good idea for that.
And dusted the living daylights off of her. And this was one my mom had. So this is like a little memento. I feel like every time I use it, a little bit of my mom is at the table with me. So that makes me happy.
Oh. Yeah.
And then Feora 2 came along. Now we've talked about Feora 2 and my love for the Feora 2, because back in the day before she kind of got a little bit slowed down, she was my girl. I still, as a matter of fact, in the display case where I keep Feora 2, I have a fire token that killed Scar 1 when she burned to death on a fire roll. I kept that token separate and put it with her as a little memento. But so she's, once again, I mean, not a big improvement in painting technique at this point. But I did do the experimentation with the flames are better than the fiery hip pads that I put on her, because God knows why fiery hip pads would be a thing. But she's okay. She's got a little bit of wash on the golds. This is started where I'm starting to develop my kind of the gold metals technique that I would use later on. And then Feora 3. And Feora 3 comes at a time when I guess this is pretty close to where I was at towards the end of the first run of the show. And I think I went a little nuts with the object source lighting. And by a little nuts, I mean a lot nuts. But what I do take away from this model is this is the armor scheme that I settled on for the Protectorate kind of moving forward. This is the dark coal blacks and using a little bit of, still using the sanguine in some places. She's using she's got some Scorn red here on her hip pads here. But this is kind of what I'm going to go for with this model. And this is Feora 4. Okay? Feora the Forsaken or the Forgotten or the Fierce or the fucking left forgotten about, or I don't know what the hell it is.
How about Feora that be?
Feora that be. She has a flaming chainsword, because of course she does.
Of course you do.
And
one with flames.
So this is kind of an intimidating model. In the whole scheme of the Riot Quest models, nothing has this extreme amount of small detail in it. So she's got, on the back of her cloak, she's got some filigree in this section here. We have there's a lot of filigree and whatnot in here. And what I want to do is I want to head towards this. So this is also the first time you get to see Feora's face. Because Protectorate models, as a rule, you don't get to see their face once they've gotten above Journeyman. So that's what tonight's going to be about. We're going to get after putting a little bit of love on here. But the first, so where we are with this model is we are at I've gone through and I've done nothing but a zenithal shading on this. Okay, so it's primed black, and I came at it with a light kind of dusty ground color. And the first step we've got to do is we got to get out the old white ink. and we're going to come with the white ink and we're going to highlight specific areas that I can then come back and when I start hitting it with the coal black, that will be that'll kind of auto shade itself and auto highlight itself. So anyhow, that's where we're going to start today. It's my story and I'm sticking to it because a lie well told and stuck to is as good as the truth. So take my glasses off so I can see what the hell I'm doing. What do you got? What do you got working on there, John? Or you just kind
I'm
of
not painting anything today since I'm drinking. I've been working pretty hardcore on these Rebel Troopers. I think I got the paint scheme down for most of the parts. Just need to decide on the last bits what I want to do with them.
cool? So
Guns and little details. It's a lot of stuff. Once you get them figured out, though, everything else goes faster.
there you go. So the first place I'm going to get these highlights is on the pipes, on the very tippy tops of the pipes.
The tippy tops.
Because if I can do that, then when I come back over these with the coal black, I'm not going to bother too much with where I know there's going to be metal because the metals are so opaque.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about no shading like that.
No, it's good work after bad at that point.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to think of where is the light going to be hitting it so that I can do it in the appropriate spots. So I'm going to try my best to angle this towards the camera so you can see what I'm doing. It takes a very, very light touch when you're doing this stuff. Because if you go crazy, go nuts with it, the chances are better than not you're going to obscure. It's just not going to look natural. So on the back here, there's going to be some. Fuck. God, my depth perception, John, is just gone.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir there.
Just gone. Now on this top one here, you've got a vertical section, then you've got this flattened out. And I'm only going to, on the section that's flattened out, where my zenithal has kind of told me, you know what, that is not going to catch the light, so don't bother with it.
Yeah.
And we're going to come along in here, and we'll do that. And so we'll catch a little edge here, and we'll catch, that's probably pretty good there. All right, so then you'll notice where the zenithal is kind of leading me on the pads here. I'm going to just catch the upper level here of these shoulder pads. And we're just going to kind of give it just a little bit of love across the top, the highest highlights.
Do the light, because if you do a light touch, you can go back a little more if you need to. If you go heavy, it's really hard to take that shit off.
Yes, it is. I mean, you can certainly try to lick your brush and try to spread it out a little bit, but at the end of the day, that's only going to be partially successful.
Yeah.
All right, now here on the chainsword, I'm gonna probably do a fair amount here on the top, just to kind of give it a little bit of, because there's going to be a fair amount that's going to be right up here, and then a little bit here on this armor plate on her arm.
If you do a little bit the old school way, I've seen people do the same thing he's doing here, but instead they use a dry brush.
Yeah.
You can do that, but it's always going to be a little messier, but that's like the beginning level. He's going up a step from there.
And a lot of times I will do a dry brush, and I just find that I get a little bit better effect this way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in general, highlighting is going to give you a better look than a dry brush, but some dry brushing takes a little less time and a little less steady hand. If you don't have the steady hand, sometimes the dry brush is the right job for you.
Yep, it sure is. And you know what? It's a progression. You start off, and then when you feel like you've got a steady enough hand, then you add this to your repertoire.
Indeed. I've been trying to work on steady hand and all. It's not always working, but I'm trying.
And what I find, guys, if you're trying to practice, you'll notice I've got my hand down on the table, and then I've got the I'm bracing my other hand off of that hand, so that I can really give myself as much of a steady hand there as I possibly can.
Yeah, the more points of contact you have between your arms and something else gives you steadier. I've done sometimes where I've got both elbows on a table, my hand, the edge of one hand in the palm of the other, thumb up on the base too, holding the model on the little whatever I'm using to hold it, and then just painting what you can there.
And the thing about Riot Quest models, is that I've settled on that I want it to be vibrant. I want it to be a little bit more cartoony, maybe than another model might be, because the game is silly, and so a color scheme might even want to kind of convey that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes these camera angles are not the best. I know it's not easy to tell exactly what I'm doing, and I'm trying to show as much as I can what I'm coming back to do here.
Look, your
And-
camera angles are at least as good as this drink.
So now what I'm going to do is, so I worked on my Chuck Dogwood model, and I was very, very pleased with how Chuck Dogwood turned out. And part of what I was pleased about was that I felt like for the first time I nailed ginger hair.
It's a tough one. It always looks unrealistic. You either get the might as well be brown, or you get freaking Mara from Aquaman. You're like, holy crap, that hair is red.
So what I did was, it was a combination of murderous magenta, ember orange, and then just a little bit of brown mixed in. And it really, really, really worked. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to add highlights into her hair. And the reason I'm doing that is that will then naturally pull some of those lighter oranges and those kind of colors up out of the hair when I start washing it with, not really washing it, but glazing it with some of the ginger colors. And I'm catching different parts of like where it's swooping up, where I would expect it to catch the light.
So you're going for the redhead look on her?
Yeah, she seems like she'd be a ginger, doesn't she?
I mean, she reminds me of my ex-wife, so yeah, power hungry, treacherous, a bee. I'm sorry, was that out loud? My apologies, folks.
No, it's all right. It's only slander if you put it in words. All right, so there you go. But, I've always had kind of a thing for her, for Feora here. And I want her to be beautiful. So, let's see here. Now, time to be a little careful here. So we're going to go back in here to the ink, but we are going to be darn careful on her boobs. I want her boobs to have some definition, and I want them to show that they're there, but I also don't want it to be a comic book. So we're going to put a little bit of ink there, and then we're going to draw it out a little bit. We're going to give it a little bit of softening of the whiteness so that it doesn't, so it's not ridiculous. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of a dark color. I'm going to take a little black.
I'm glad you went there. I wasn't.
What's that?
Glad Kathy went there. I wasn't going there.
No, what'd she say? We all
We all
want to
want
have
to
some
have
definition. Yeah, that a man should not have a comment on that.
I was really trying not to go there.
All right, so we're going to take a little bit of this black that I have pre-diluted here, come along the bottom, just a little bit of pre-shade. And we'll bring a little bit up along there and along there. And then some other areas that might benefit a little is we'll come on these plates a little bit. Along the bottom of this plate to give it some definition there. And similarly, along this one here. And hopefully what that will do is when we go ahead and start doing a little bit of glazing, that should make our effort to draw some definition between these different plates a little bit easier.
Cool. These are some things I might try. John, did you know that I have an absolute metric shit ton of Battletech models coming towards me?
Well, it sounds like you've got some opportunities to experiment then.
Yeah, and they're a good scale where a little bit of that work might go a long way.
Yep.
Because, so I just gotta wait. I think my stuff might be wave 2, so I gotta wait a little bit. But very communicative Kickstarter. People are trying to get their stuff, so I'm a little excited.
So I have, after this one is complete, I have 5 Riot Quest models to paint.
Oh, well, I have 0 models for Marvel Crisis Protocol to paint,
Woohoo!
but I have a metric shit ton of Star Wars Legion models to paint.
All right.
Which is why I started on them, because you got to get started somewhere. You know, it can be daunting, but if you let it be daunting and you never start, you're never gonna finish.
It turns out that if you the model you don't paint never gets painted.
You're darn right. So I spent a lot of time working on this scheme. It's a little silly. I don't know if you guys have seen it, if you follow my hobby streak, because it's sort of like gray with some browns as the base. Then the camo pattern on the grays is red and turquoise.
Neat.
It looks sort of alien worldy. I might change the red to a reddish brown. I'm gonna try that here soon. I want to get the basic colors down, like exactly what am I going to do on the gray, because when I did it, I just did base colors. Like, let's see what the base model looks like, make sure proof of concept works.
Yep.
So I want to get that down on the rest of his squad. And luckily, Legion models are great because you get more models than you can use at one time in a box. If a box is 8 models, you're only ever going to use 7 of them at max. Actually, it's 7 models. You only use 6 on at max because math. Because you can have 4 regular dudes, add an extra regular dude, then add an extra weapon, and you get both of the weapon options in the box. So you always have at least 1 extra model to play with. So I started off with the Ion guy, did some work on him. I kind of like the way he's coming out.
Yeah.
It's a little weird of a camo scheme, but it's bright and kind of cool.
Excellent.
So we're gonna get all that down, and then we'll get the rest of these guys. I tried to keep it with enough colors so that when you get the different types of troopers, because the Rebel veterans, as they're called, are all like Hoth troopers. But I'm not going to paint them white. I'm just going to paint them the same paint scheme, just maybe switch up where the colors are.
Very cool.
Because even other worlds get cold. You need winter gear. And then the veterans have a sort of hodgepodgey stuff. I can paint them. The scouts are pretty much the same, just with a cloak on top. And then like the fleet troopers will be the hardest with the helmets from like A New Hope, the first rebels we see.
Yep.
But I've got a blue shirt underneath their camo jackety thing, so I'll do the big dose of that blue on them, and then maybe the camo just in little places here or there if they have something that looks like they can use it, or just leave it out entirely and they look different, like different models are supposed to.
So here's a little something I just tried. We'll see how successful it is long term.
Mm-hmm.
But I used a little Nuln oil to sell the dart to do some pre-shading.
Oh, that's not a good idea.
And then I came back with the white ink on the top as a highlight. And what I got a little bit of a problem going on here, in that I got a little bit of my white ink in my Nuln oil. A little bit in my Nuln oil and my white ink. But I was able, because everything was still wet, I was able to rectify it. I was able to come back and blend it out. And it looks pretty good. So, I mean, that gives us a pretty high contrast level in those areas by the back of her cloak that I think you can probably see pretty good. So, in general, what have I done on the model so far? So I've come back with some very whites on the shoulder pads, her hair. I've done a little bit here on this front kind of loincloth area, a little bit on the back here. And so my goal here is going to be to, I think I'm going to want to go with probably her cape is going to be sanguine base. And then her armor, the predominant color of her armor is going to be the coal black, as we are. And then, but this bottom piece here is going to be a more red color, which is consistent with my other color scheme. And then pipes will be...
Because then you know where everything goes, because you got this thing's this. So any model, like John's taking a model nothing like what he's painted, he knows exactly where the colors are going to go.
Right. So now I'm going to take a little bit of, but we're going to start with now some of the blocking in some of the colors, and we're going to start with a flesh color. And did you know, John? Did you know the Feora's skin color is Cardic flesh?
Did not know, but I'm waiting to see.
There you go. I just made that up. In my world, she is.
Right? Flesh is one of the harder things people will paint.
All right, so we've got
You
that in
know,
there.
John, that not brushhead Dave looks for models with no flesh because he hates painting flesh.
For me, it got a lot easier once I learned how to glaze.
Fair enough.
And so we're gonna start with that, and we're just going to start here on her face, and we're just gonna block it in. And the key, I think, for me with flesh, is it's not something you put on in one coat. You've got to be willing to invest the time in it, and you've got to watch out that you don't get sloppy with it.
That's sort of the next level thing. If you want your model to look that next level good, you're going to have to take time. You know, you can't just go and go and go. You got to do lighter coats so you get that proper highlight and depth, and you don't get too thick anywhere.
Yep. I mean, I want the skin tones to have good saturation. I mean, I'm going to be coming back and beefing this model. There's no question about it. The beef will flow.
The beef will flow, yes.
But you need to be patient with it, and you know, even coats are good, and you just need to be careful and slow with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, her neck is way down deep in this armor, and that's fine. If I get a little bit of flesh color on the armor, that's fine, because I'm going to come back and I'm going to be painting that armor, and the flesh will cover up just fine. So we got a little bit of time. We got a little bit there. John, how much media do you have to talk about? Because if this is going to be a 1 hour edition, I don't want to shortchange the media section.
I mean, I can talk about stuff. I got a movie I can talk about.
All right, let's get on over to the.
Wow.
While I continue to paint for a little bit here, I will get over to the media section here. Media section. New song.
New song. There you
I don't
go.
know, it was pretty terrible. We're not going to do that one again.
Oh, well, it's a one-off song, guys. It's a collector's edition podcast now.
You know, we're going to sell you the whole podcast, but you're only going to need the edge.
I like the Edge. He's a good guitarist.
Yes, he is. He's got that jangly thing going on. I like.
So, John, let me talk about a movie that contains. It's in a neck-and-neck knife fight for the best, worst accent in a movie ever.
Nice. Okay.
And the other contender for this accent is, of course, Sean Connery in The Hunt for October. Give me a ping, Brichette. One ping only.
One
with
ping,
the
one
worst,
ping
best,
only.
the best, worst Russian accent ever. Because
give me
terrible.
one ping only.
Because he doesn't give a shit, but he's like, he's trying but not trying. It's amazing. But
He could try or not try all day.
Yeah, my other contender is another man who always brings his A game to movies.
And that is?
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, dear God.
Do you know which movie I'm speaking of?
No, I don't actually.
Oh, this is a little gem. And to those of you who watch, you know, More Than Dice, I'm sorry I had to work on Saturday, so I had time for one movie this past week. And my Rebels is not enough, or my Rebels, I wish I was watching Rebels. My Clone Wars is not up to enough worth talking about. I'm muddling through it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Con Air, John.
Oh, Con Air. Oh, yeah. God, I haven't watched that with the kids yet.
With that Alabama accent that is terrible, but awesome at the same time. And Con Air is the epitome of a 90s action movie.
Sure is.
But it's done so you don't take it too seriously. You sit back, you crack a cold one, or pour yourself a nice drink, and you just enjoy the ride. The characters are all really easy to get. They're vaguely stereotypes, reasonably consistent, and they give them all good intros. They're all very memorable. They don't really step on each other's toes, and it's just an enjoyable, fun ride. It doesn't have too many action sequences, and every one, they have two types of action sequences. They have the little intense ones that are quick, and like, oh, that's cool. And then they have the big ones that are just fucking nuts. And you're just like, what is going on? But you're along for the ride anyways. The cast on it is A+ cast. Nicolas Cage in the leading role as I don't remember what his character's name is
Who
anymore. I don't
cares?
think it matters.
Nick Cage.
Michael T. Williams as his buddy, Baby O, because he needs his insulin shot, something for him to fight for. A bunch of people you've seen in movies before you, but you won't know their names. But then you get John Malkovich as Cyrus the Virus, the lead criminal, who does a bang-up job. I mean,
John
John
Malkovich
Malkovich is
just
always
great.
great, and this is double great. You get Ving Rhames as Diamond Dog, who, which are really, there's little subtle things in this movie people won't get, but I've seen this a million times. So things I like is he is a black militant who blew up meeting the NRA, which I'm like, okay, that sounds realistic.
So he's a hero.
And when he's talking, he's not racist. He's not like he hates all the white guys. He's just a black militant.
Good for him.
They avoided the worst stereotype ever easily.
It's not hard.
No, I mean, Dave Chappelle's in it for about 12 seconds as Pinball. Just another one of the criminals. You've got Nick Chinland as Billy Bedlam. You've got Danny Trejo in it shortly as Johnny 23, who is the most reprehensible character in the movie. And these guys are all like multi-killers and all, and he's the most reprehensible because he's a rapist.
Gotcha.
That is a role I do not think if they made the movie they would recast. They would skip that.
Yep.
Let's be honest, you don't need that. And I feel bad that Danny Trejo had to play that, but at least he got some money.
Yeah, I hear you.
He didn't get a lot in this movie either, but you've got this is like I said, a bunch of people. John Cusack plays a federal marshal who's sort of in charge of their air charter service, who's taken over, which is why it's called Con Air.
Yep.
You got Colm Meaney of Star Trek fame playing a very dickish DEA agent. Always good to see him get in on some action there. He's really a dick, though. He may be, aside from Danny Trejo's background, other than that, Danny Trejo's character is amusing. But Colm Meaney may be the most annoying character in the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the piece de la resistance, the best job in the entire movie, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
He plays creepy so well. None of his lines are inherently creepy. I mean, there's one line that's actually creepy. Most of his lines aren't inherently creepy, but he plays it so well. And it first seems to go off on this tangent at one point where his character's off on his own and he's sitting talking with a little girl, like having a tea time. And you're like, this is creepy because you've already known that he's killed a ton of people and he drove through multiple states with the girl's like skull on as a hat. He said that. And you're like, where the fuck is this going? But he just plays creepy so well. Like, they're crashing the Vegas Strip, which is the end of the movie, by the way. And he's sitting there singing because the little girl was singing with him. He's got the whole world in his hands. And all the rest of the cons are freaking out, like, shut up, man, we're going to die. And he's just calm singing it. It is great. I don't know if we have just Steve Buscemi to thank for that, or him plus the director, but it is a great job. He is super creepy, and it helps the flavor of the movie. As far as plot, well, come on.
Who cares? That's not why you're there.
No, God, you're there for the plot. It's simple. Let me tell you. Cons steal prison transport. Shit happens.
Yep. Chaos ensues. Story 811.
So this movie is high quality action. It's over the top, great fun, and that accent. That accent defies description. I give it a shot of Kraken. You're going to want a shot of Kraken, loosen you up, because it's a fun ride. But honestly, that's one where all the good ways, you're going to take a shot of Kraken, but you're going to leave the bottle there because you're going to have a good time.
Excellent. Well, I watched Sean Hobbs with the boys. Did I talk about this on the last show or not?
You did not. Sean Hobbs with the boys.
Yep.
I mean, you guys been late. Have you guys seen the rest of the series? Really,
no. However, it has inspired us to begin to watch them.
Oh shit, dog!
I love Sean Hobbs. I really do. It's one of my top 5 action movies of all time.
Is it not like literally? I mean, you could almost take the words I said about the general words I said about Con Air and apply to Sean Hobbs.
Oh, it is such a good action movie. It is brainless.
The four leads are so good together.
Yup. I think you could put The Rock and The Rock and Jason Statham should be contractually forced to be in every movie together now.
Oh my god. That
The chemistry
Idris
between
Elba?
those two.
I love Idris Elba. Man, we cannot get enough Idris
Yep.
Elba in movies.
No. When Idris Elba cares to show up and act, he's unstoppable.
And that's most of his movies, luckily.
It is. I mean, I think he was pretty bored with Prometheus. But
I think everyone was pretty bored with Prometheus, let's be honest.
yeah, but I think that in general, I mean, whether you're talking about yeah,
Pacific Rim.
Pentecost from
Oh, yeah.
Pacific Rim, or just literally anything, he's a
But-
great actor.
Even in The Losers, he's bringing his A game in that movie.
Yep.
I love The Losers. This cast is so good. I don't remember Vanessa Kirby is the female lead.
Yeah,
She plays off both of them so well. Her and Statham play well. Her and The Rock's. Oh my god, it's just a good movie.
yep, 100%.
Right.
And,
And they don't have a love story down here. You're like, oh wait, oh they're taking their time. What is this? This doesn't make any sense for a movie.
the one-liners between Statham and The Rock on the airplane when she's asleep,
Oh yeah.
and when she climbs this huge mountain of well-endowed man over and over and over. It's just hilarious.
And what's his name? What's his name? The black comedian who's on the airplane with them.
Oh, Chris Tucker?
No, it's not Chris Tucker.
Um,
He was in the Jumanji movies. Why can I not remember his name? Fuck. IMDb, save me.
oh, you're talking about. I have the wrong actor's name.
One second. Someone's wrong. Kevin Hart.
Mm.
Kevin Hart.
I'm sorry, Chris Tucker. I'm sorry, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's perfect.
Perfect. So funny in it.
He's so good.
You think you're like, oh, here comes a real comedian gonna fuck this scene up. You're like, nope.
Nope.
Perfect.
Just nails it.
Oh, yeah, I love that movie. That movie was great.
So the boys loved it. I loved it. Highly recommend it. Probably going to. I don't know that I want to go all the way back to 1 and 2.
You have to go to one.
All right.
Have to. But let me tell you what, John. Don't get too much. I haven't sent you your other CD yet. I may have accidentally bought an extra copy of one of the later movies because I'm a dumbass. So let me package those together and get those to you because I need to get them out to you.
Deal.
But yeah, so 1, 2, you could probably skip 3. It doesn't actually have. It only introduces one character.
Is that Tokyo Drift?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to watch Tokyo Drift. Fuck that noise.
I haven't seen it. It's very out there from the movie. And honestly, it doesn't happen chronologically, so you would wait anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? But yeah, you got to watch 1. 2 is not as bad as people say. But there's no obviously no Rock in it. There's no Vin Diesel in that one.
Okay.
And then 4 on is when 4 you're like, okay, bring it together, and then 5 on they're just like they hit the nitrous and they go.
Good. I think we'll probably start watching it. I'll have to see if Belinda's interested in watching it, or it might just be something that the boys and I do. So there you have it. I mean, and so what else have I watched this week? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've watched over the last couple weeks.
Did you watch the trailer for The Mandalorian?
I did watch the trailer for The Mandalorian, and I caught a glimpse of Ahsoka, and that's all I needed. And I was like, fuck yeah, Ahsoka. And
I mean,
the rest.
Mandalorian. That's all I needed. Discovery season 3 is coming out.
Yeah, I watched
Just
the first
started.
episode. I watched.
I didn't. I want to
Oh,
wait till I can do it. Plus, I mean, I gotta wait for the roomie to be ready too, so we can watch it together. But
what? The one in the hooded figure? The hooded figure on the side there wasn't Ahsoka.
oh,
Legionnaires saying it wasn't. I don't know about all that.
interesting. And then,
Uh,
yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to Discovery.
Sabine Wren? Are you kidding me?
Oh shit!
Is Sabine in this? Okay, that's big news. Because if Sabine's in there, they've got my two heartthrobs in the same show.
I mean, come on. Are we going to watch it more than we were already going to watch it?
No, I'm still gonna watch it equally hard.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's like, but Sabine, she's
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
I have seen season 1 of Rebels. I'm with you.
Yep. So
I got some news last night. I saw poking along the Book of Faces that intrigued me.
what's that?
Disney Plus is doing a sequel to a fantasy movie,
Sequel.
one that originally starred Val Kilmer,
Oh, what the fuck movie was that?
Willow.
Okay. Yeah. What are they gonna say? What are they gonna cast Val Kilmer as? A lump of poo on the side?
I don't know. Is it a series, Kathy? I saw a movie. Actually, no, I saw a sequel, so it could be a series.
Cool.
I'm interested to see if they do something brand new, because that was a George Lucas one.
Mhm.
And what do something new, or if they're going to do all based off the books that he and Chris Claremont wrote in the 90s, early 2000s.
Well,
That
very cool.
shockingly I've read.
Very good. So that's very exciting news. That is very exciting news. I'm here to tell you Discovery is going to be awesome. I watched the first episode of it. It's very interesting. It's a good. They've introduced a new character in the first episode who's a great. I think that the lead, I forget the character's name.
Michael Burnham.
Yeah, Michael Burnham. And he have really good chemistry on screen. I think it's going to work out great. And it'll be, tomorrow. I'm pretty sure Belinda's coming over. We'll watch it together, and probably then hopefully watch the debate, and then we'll see how far she makes it into the debate. But anyway, I just want to see Trump's head explode when they mute his mic, just once.
I've been done for a while. I was really done when at the end of a rally he said, or during a rally he says, Biden's going to listen to the scientists. I'm like,
well,
that's good.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I mean, how did Pence praying away the COVID work?
Oh, get this. Iran and Russia have got U.S. voter registration data, which Tehran used to send threatening emails in an effort to influence the elections. There you go, folks. That's why you got to be a critical user of media. It's important. Yet you still showed up at this show. How about that, huh, John?
Yeah, well, I mean, we give good advice sometimes. If you're worried about something, there is a Twitter page and other webpage called MediaWise, where their entire thing is teaching you how to look at an article and decide if it is real or not.
Yep. So we highly recommend that. That's going to be Menoth John and John Spencer approved. So my dog just came over.
Smarter Every Day, which is one of my favorite YouTube channels.
Yeah, Smarter Every Day is really good.
I got the baseball right here.
Very good. What is that?
It's baseball.
Okay.
Because it's him in the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Very
he
nice.
needed a bunch of baseballs for his supersonic baseball cannon. So he did that, and he sent all of his patrons a baseball that he signed.
Very cool. That's neat.
Awesome. Because, this is the kind of thing, it means something. Especially because, I'll say, honestly, he is the only patron creator. Not the only one. He's one of the very few patron creators who emailed his patrons directly when they join and thank them for joining. And
we used to do that.
We did.
We
But there's not a lot who do that. Because I have a lot of patrons I support.
Yep.
And not everyone does, but it's really great step to do.
Cool. All right, folks, we're going to call this one good because I'm going to put on the music here. So let's go back to the face cam here as we are wont to do.
This is breaking news. I don't even know why we're cutting it early. I just know that we are.
We're cutting it early because I'm playing Among Us with Rich and Dan. So I got to...
Sus.
What's that?
It seems sus.
Very nice. A little sus. All right, so I've never played. We'll give you a review on the next show.
Hey, it's fair. I'll go play some MechWarrior Online with the guys. We're having a good time.
But
Halloween event, super fun.
All right. Well, you guys have a good time, folks. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Get registered to vote. If you're registered, get out there and get ahead of the game.
Vote.
Don't
let them scare you off. Don't let them keep you away. If anyone's there causing shenanigans, if you vote in person, you call the police.
You call
They're
the
not allowed
police
to do that.
and get the police out there. Get that Facebook Live going. That'll shut those idiots down right away. To know that stuff is permanently on them. So, folks, be brave. We've got a very important thing to do here in the next few days. So,
be strong. Support each other. Support yourself.
Yep. Y'all
Remember,
take care.
Mental health is important for everyone.
Yep, and we'll see you in here next time on Painting with Menoth John. Good night, everybody.
Bye, folks.
Seems a little sus.
Feora is sus.